I have the other ones available in there. But...
What? So, Luke, what are you drinking today? Coca-Cola.
Morning on the way to the gym and set my ukulele on top of the car and then drove off down the road.
It's going to be the bow after that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Look at that.
Ojo! I learned my lesson from last time. What a welcome. Thank you. I drink the most fruity drinks imaginable.
It's laundry day.
It's laundry day.
So you always wear hats with laundry day?
Here, did you a favor, James. As you say, more later.
So how did you two meet?
Well, there's these places in San Francisco. I think they're called bathhouses.
It's like one of those things where everyone wants to focus on like the big events that happen, but day to day, what we're doing is we're on like one of our draw streams, smoking weed, making comics. It's chill. It's so much fun, and like
Yes. Oh, man, I'm not a YouTuber. I do this because I want to sell comic books. Yes, guys, it is a Sunday. It is Sunday, guys. This means another episode of A Drink with a Brink, where I talk with other indie creators about their hopes and their dreams and their lives, but also their creations and their campaigns. Because, frankly, I'm kind of bored with mainstream, and indie is where the passion is, guys. All right, I hope you're all having a fantastic weekend and a nice Sunday. I've been hiking today, a little bit of hiking, a little bit walking. You can't be inside all the time, and I'm just writing and creating comics, so I need to force myself to go out and move, get some exercise, and so that was nice. I also hoped that I was able to send to all you lovely backers of Perfect 10 Book 6 the digital edition this weekend. It is at the copy editor Ali, but Ali got sick, so she has it right now. She will finish it when she can and send it over, and once that's done, then Joel can make final edits if necessary, and then I can send it to you guys. So, and I can send it to the printer, so everything is in motion. Unfortunately, it's not this weekend, but hopefully tomorrow or the day after. But soon, guys, soon. And I hope you guys will like this issue. This issue is a little bit different. If you read the first 5 issues, this series is non-stop action. It's a roller coaster ride, and issue 6 is a bit different. It's calmer. It slows down. It's like the end of this arc, and it has a different vibe. And so I'm a bit nervous, guys. I'm really proud of it. I really like how things wrap up and what we did with the story. But I hope you guys like it. So soon, guys, soon. All right. Let's see who's in the chat with us today. It's Pops. Pops is here. Welcome, Pops. So, guys, we are broadcasting through the Madness Entertainment Group. So this means multiple channels, multiple platforms. So thank you, Pops. It's all thanks to the Madness Entertainment Group right here. Go subscribe, right? And we have David Feed. David Feed is also here. Welcome, David Feed. How are you? Good evening. Yeah, good evening. Oh, good night almost. So, yes. Nice to see you, David. Welcome, Mike. Hello, Mike. How are you today, sir? Sunny Sunday to you all, and cheers. Thank you, Mike, and welcome, welcome. Guys, let's share out this stream. Let's get some more people in. The more, the merrier. I have a brand new guest to the show. Never been on the show before, which is cool. So I can introduce you to new people and new people to you, right? So let's see what this is all about, guys. Oh, and we have the art of Victor Medina. Victor Medina, welcome, sir. Nice to see you. Steven de la Vega jumps in. Welcome, Steven. Awesome, awesome, guys. Nice to see you all. Right, nice to see you all. All right, guys, it's time for the guests. So let's do this. Let's bring them on. Let's get things ready. Let's get things set up because we have some stuff to talk about. So let's do this. May I have a very warm welcome for the guest of the hour, Mr. Ray Jamison.
Hello.
There he is.
Well, first a shout out to Victor Medina, who is in the comments there. That's really cool. He's my interior artist for the issue in topic.
That is excellent. That is excellent. It's always cool to have the creative team together here. Welcome, Victor. Nice, man.
One of the first impressions I had from him was that specific profile picture he has, because I'm a big Ghost Rider fan, which will come full circle later. We'll talk a bit about that in conjunction with my book.
Ghost Rider. Oh, I see it now. That's wonderful. Did he draw that also?
Yes, he drew and colored that specific profile image, yes.
That's excellent. That looks great. That looks great. Ray, my favorite Canadian, says Pops.
Hi to Pops. Shout out to Pops. I was on the Karen show with him and Lori Calcaterra. We played up some Canadianisms. It was a good time.
All right. So what are typical Canadianisms?
Canadianisms, any type of stereotype. With the food would be like bacon and maple syrup and lots of different, like the snow, for example. I was just showing you the snow. There's my neighbor's vehicle. Yes. Out and about is apparently a good one. Lots of different funny stuff with Canadians. Tim Hortons coffee and the sport of hockey, of course, would also fall in sync.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Mike asks, where you at, Ray? I'm by the Rockies.
You're by the Rockies. I'm right in what we call Winterpeg, right in pretty much the center of Canada. It gets colder further north from here, but it is definitely not summer where I currently am at this time of the year.
Right. Yes. Canadians do not know bacon, says Pops.
Nope. We don't know what bacon is. Never heard of it, ever.
Winterpeg is right, says Mike. All right. Excellent. Usually the first question that I ask my guests is, what are you drinking? But I suppose you're on the road, right? So you're not drinking?
I'm parked, but I'm not drinking anything right now. You know what is a very underrated drink? I don't drink a lot of alcohol myself, but equal parts orange juice and cranberry juice is deceptively good.
All right. Yes, that's pretty healthy also.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. All right, sir. So, Ray, so before we talk about anything else, I think it's fun to get to know you. So can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what your connection is with whatever you are producing?
Okay, well, first and foremost, I've been an artist since before I can remember. At heart, it is not something I was able to refine or sharpen as I grew up. Life got in the way, and I had to pay the bills. I've been watching since the mid-late 80s. I watch a lot of reruns of things like Masters of the Universe, Transformers, G.I. Joe. One of my favorites is Brave Star. I loved Brave Star. That was a really awesome cartoon. There was a lot of really neat combinations of toy lines combined with comic books, combined with cartoons that knew how to get your parents' money the most efficient way possible. And I was right through that entire era. There was a lot of really cool things for kids at that time. I was a 90s kid. I watched a lot of the cartoons from Spider-Man the Animated Series to 1992's X-Men the Animated Series, which is now called X-Men 97. Batman the Animated Series. There was a whole slew of different cool things. One thing I found that was very underrated was Beast Wars, even though the 3D polygons weren't that impressive. I did enjoy the story. Through that entire time, especially in the back half of the 90s, I had a love-hate relationship with comic books. There was a lot of growing pains, which consisted of them being more art-heavy. And until the turn of the century, they didn't really figure out how to make the story the as appealing as it should have been all that time. One of the
do you mean throughout the 90s or even before that?
90s and specifically. Basically, a bunch of really good artists from Marvel got together and they started Image, and they flexed their strengths and took the focus off of the rooms for improvement. You go to the older Image stories, they're not difficult to read, but you can tell that the people writing it, the writing wasn't their top strength. And as we got into the new millennium, there was people like Brian Michael Bendis, when the work he did with Ultimate Spider-Man, it showed that story did matter, and we kind of shifted out of that. From there up until like all of the different cool comic movies that came since the turn of the century, I'm just really happy to have been through all of those eras and actually experienced them as they've happened.
Sure. Yes, this is true. It's with comics. It's difficult to connect, to latch on to comics if basically all you have is cool looking characters. They look fantastic, right? But
yes.
But what are they? Who are they? What are the stories? If you don't have the stories, you have nothing really that carries you over through the coming years to make the series of it, right?
Yeah, it's all icing and no cake.
Yes, exactly. And you were talking about these cartoons, which got me thinking. A lot of these cartoons for 70s, 80s, they basically came from toys. So they wanted to sell toys, and they had to create this lore around it, and the creativity to actually pull that off is remarkable, right?
It was deceptive how successful some of those were. You had failure ones like GoBots, for example, but then with Transformers, the kids just ate that lore up. And really it was, I don't want to say toss away stories, but how do we convince people why they should buy this next toy and why is it cool?
Sure. Yes. Yes. They got the story aspect good there, So yeah.
Yes.
And now you wanted to be a artist. You couldn't put the hours in to get to the level that you wanted, correct?
Yes. Yes. I go ahead.
And now you do primarily writing. Is that correct?
Yes. So there's a little bit of a gap between, I mentioned the turn of the century and enjoying the film that has come from comic books. Between shortly after that time, I had to move across country, and I didn't really get to see many friends and family as much as I'd like. So one thing I did is I would look for reasons to hang out on webcam, and one of them is I offered, I've never played Dungeons and Dragons before. How about we give this a shot? And you know what? My eyes are not the best with this phone. I can't read what Victor's saying there.
He's saying those of us that can't read loved the early Image days. Yeah, we all did. We all did.
Man, the imagery, that work they put in those pages jumped off the pages. Like I do not ever want to bash what they did, because what they did was phenomenal. Just to go toe to toe with the big two and outsell them, and the numerous times that they did, and just to establish themselves neck and neck from the toys, the cartoons. I mean, there's going to be another Spawn movie coming out. It's apparently just outside of production hell with Jamie Foxx agreeing to be Al Simmons. That in my opinion Image is the epitome of what all indie comics are. It's just a grand, successful one that had a bunch of superstar artists with it. That's the only difference.
Yes, this is true. This is true, man. Cosmonaut Comics, welcome, sir. Welcome, Marinus. Guys, subscribe to Cosmonaut Comics for daily comic book reviews. Lots of cake in Jamison Comics. Yes, we like the cake. We do.
I see what you did there. But anyway, so I decided, I never played D&D before, but we needed a dungeon master. So because it was my idea, I became the dungeon master, and I made up what they call a homebrew. There's no modules. You have your own lore and story. You have to pre-establish all of that. And we had a lot of fun. That is the better part of 15 years ago now. And I've always wanted to make some stories, make my own comic, but I decided, taking inspiration from some of these games that I started, I took out the characters that the players are playing as, and I injected in my own players, or my own characters rather, and I played out this story in this 3-issue mini-series. I'm really happy with how it's turned out, and I've been very fortunate. Victor Medina has already mentioned taking on this talent, which decided to buy in and actually think it was cool enough to put their name on it, I guess is the best way to put it. It's very humbling, and I am very grateful. There's so many different talent, which we'll go over shortly when we start looking at a couple of those covers I showed you. But all in all, I've been very, very grateful. Like, shout out to Philbo Publishing, my publisher. He's going to put my book into distribution as one entire volume. And this is my first time writing a book. I know many people that have made very great, successful books that theirs isn't in your local comic shop, but somehow mine made it. So I guess the writing was half decent. I guess I had the right combination of talent to make it look at least half decent. It must be something people are really liking, and I'm very, very grateful for that.
Well, if you're a dungeon master for this game, this tabletop game, you need to be able to create stories on the fly. Basically, sometimes you can do some prep work, but still you have to create things, right? So is this how you discovered that you could actually write?
I don't know if it's the cart before the horse or the other way around, but like when I was a kid, I was fortunate enough to take an evening course. Is before I was even a teenager, about how to make the fundamentals of comics. So I understood dynamics like the pencil, the ink, the lettering, the coloring, the succession and order of operations to produce a panel. But in regards to writing, I've never really written something from like a large grand story. But on the flip side, as a dungeon master, I've done that in spades. But not only the story, I have to make like a bunch of, I call them alternate realities, because I have no idea what the players are going to do. And I take this as a compliment. There's many times they break me in regards to my preparation, and I have to improv on the fly. So it was very neat to be able to just write out a story. I roughly knew where the end was going. And then when I injected my own characters into it, how would they interact in these scenarios in very pleasant, surprising ways? In many cases, the characters wrote the story for me, which I heavily appreciated.
Yes, this happens. David Feet says, Chris from Infinitale Chronicles, that's what it's called, is also doing a campaign into a comic. I think Renee draws 2. Ray is in good company. Yes, also does John Longbox. He played Villains and Vigilantes, which is also like tabletop, but with superheroes. And he drew his inspiration from that for his comic book. So it's not that. So it's not really new. It's like you have this treasure trove of stories that you can draw from, right?
Yes. One of the things I wanted to do with the story was I wanted to make sure that when people started reading it, it felt like the story, the world existed before the story starts. And equally as important, by the time you read the end of the third issue, I want people to feel like the world continues on without it. And because of the last 15 years, the lore that I've put into it, it wasn't too difficult to draw from those to give that atmosphere.
Sure. Did you were you very like you took the early concepts that you had from the game and converted that to a comic book script, or did you divert from that?
So it was kind of a blend. So I took like one story arc, which was the in this case there is some type of a new drug circulating in a hometown, and 4 friends that coincidentally are just meeting up for the first time in a while back in their hometown. They're in the wrong place at the wrong time, and there's this undead outbreak which they help stave off with the local guards. And after staving off this outbreak, one of the individuals is inclined to believe that, looking at one of the local junkies who was turned into one of these creatures, he sees there's no bite marks on it. So the entire mystery of all 3 issues takes place over one night, and it's about them trying to conclude whether or not this drug has something to do with that outbreak. So I took that from some of the campaign that I've done before and remixed it a little bit and injected my own characters, and it kind of became its own thing, with the inspirations coming from earlier gaming that I played 15 years prior.
Sure. Are the people you used to play with, are they still involved somehow? Do they know about this?
They are aware. They just kind of chuckle because everybody knows, if an individual knows my specific inner circle of people that I hang out with, they can tell, oh, I see a little bit of this person in this character, or a little bit of this person in this character, but it's not direct translations.
Right. Sure. I have a question from David Feed. He asks, are orcs in your campaigns horrific monsters or quirky Mexicans?
Well, you know what? Orcs do exist. There are no orcs exist in this realm, but they are not in this story arc. The big ones, there's a couple of different elves, there's a couple of different dwarves. It's predominantly human. One of the characters, Madrakis, he's kind of super unique. He hails from something known as the Great Stormworm. If you were to imagine a kaiju-sized electric eel, that's basically what that creature was. He hails from that. He's like over 350 pounds. He clears 6.5 feet in height, and he can vomit lightning, which is pretty intense. Nothing with orcs currently. They do exist, but they're not the focus of these 3 issues.
Sure. Yeah. So your story is kind of based on the foundation of Dungeons and Dragons. So does your comic have a Dungeons and Dragons feel to it? Like the world?
It's definitely fantasy themed. One thing I really wanted to make sure I did, because I did homebrew before, everything is on my own turf, on my own imagination. It's definitely not breaching copyright, that's for sure. So the essence of D&D has a heavy influence, but I would say there's just as much influence from the movie Legend, for example, which is very fantasy themed. There's other inspirations. D&D definitely has a significant amount of inspiration, but it's definitely not the only one either.
Sure. Right. So you have your main setup. You have your main characters. So do you have multiple characters, or is there one character you follow specifically? What's the setup?
Are you able to share some of the covers I showed you? I can talk about them as we're looking at them.
Let me bring it up. You sent me some through Facebook, so I will share this screen. Share the screen, and I think it's window. This one, yes. share. Sorry, guys. There we go. There we go. All right.
There we are. Perfect. All right. So we got 4 individuals here. Shout out again to Victor Medina. This image here you're looking at was the warm-up drawing he did to get ready to draw the interiors of issue 2. I liked it so much, I wanted it to be the main protagonist cover of issue number 3. I already mentioned Madcaps in the top right, the large scaly individual. The only other thing I'll say about him is the most intimidating thing about him, despite his brawn, his size, and his lovely little electric gizzard, I guess we'll put it. The scariest thing about him is his brain. He's very intelligent, and he dabbles in the arcane, and you'll see that a little bit as the story progresses. Another interesting thing about this story is because it takes place in one night, these fellas aren't in tip-top condition. They're not resting. They're not recovering. The story keeps on going. So there is an element of who still has juice in them to do the next thing. And that is a critical thing you'll see in issue number 3. The fella to the left, the top left, his name is Chazgo Blundale. He's a blue-skinned elf. His specific type of elves are referred to as Argers, and they live in a mountain range. The mountain range is riddled with silver deposits, which is the main reason why these elves have blue skin. This actually happens in real life with humans. If they ingest enough silver, their skin will actually tattoo blue. They look like Smurfs. It's a legit thing. You can see it on a very famous fella out of this group was interviewed on Oprah, and it doesn't look real. It looks like he's wearing makeup, but it's legit. But anyways, with Chazgo and his people, because of its fantasy, of course, all of this silver in his system makes him highly resistant to magic. Not immune, but his people are referred to, I guess you could say, xenophobic. They want nothing to do with outsiders. Mm-hmm. And they feel magic is an abomination. They think worshiping the very mountain that they reside within actually gives them these blessings to protect them from abominations or magic. The funny thing with Chazgo is he's a walking contradiction. He wants nothing to do with his people. He sees them as very dysfunctional. His reputation and his people's reputation is that where merchants and mages and mercenaries will steer clear of that mountain range. They don't want to mess with these kind of guys. Because Chazgo felt his people were dysfunctional, he wanted to leave the mountain range, but what settlement would accept him? They kill Argers on sight. So he was approached by something only known as a net, and he was gifted. It's a necklace. He turned it into a necklace, but it's just a rook, a chess piece, and through that he has some magical abilities. One of them is he's able to disguise himself. So he lives in the city of Ivywood as a representative of a noble, he looks like just a regular human. The other 3 on this cover are the only ones that know what he actually looks like. Wow. I've had lots of cool questions about Chazgo. I can't read what's on the screen there, the comment.
David Feed says, in one night. Okay, that is interesting.
Yes, it is. One thing I always like is day in the life scenarios and stories. A really good example of this, it's just over 10 years back now, but Judge Dredd, the last movie, where him and his partner have to scale that apartment block. I love stories like that because it feels like it's finished without it feeling like everything's game over. You could just appreciate it and walk away, and it's a story that could be visited another time. Underneath Chazgo in the bottom left is a full-blooded dwarf named Sarlacc Swamp Trudger. He comes from a group of elves. He comes from a group of dwarves that decided to leave their mountain range. They didn't want to mine, they wanted to farm, but as dwarves tend to be stubborn, they decided to attempt to terraform swampland into farmland, which they were successful at doing, and they're continuously expanding into the swamps. But of course, being a fantasy scenario, swamps are going to have their own little challenges. Culturally speaking, these dwarves are really good at tracking and pacifying things that go bump in the night due to this ever presence of swampland. Sarlacc currently lives in the town of Ivywood. He is very devout to a being only known as the Divine, and he has a church in Ivywood, which he likes to help those less fortunate. The best way to describe him is an axe-wielding farm boy that lives out in the forest and has some divine abilities, such as healing himself and repelling the undead so they can't actually make contact with him. Out of all of them, he would be considered the most vicious or the biggest fighter. Even Madcaps, he's not really a fighter. He wears ceremonial stuff that reflects his people. He doesn't know too much about his people. But Sarlacc, especially with monsters or monstrosities, he is in his element. The last fellow, the bottom right, he is a half dwarf, half gnome. His name is Dunan Eni. He is considered, out of all of three of them, a social facilitator. This story starts with Dunan convincing Madcaps to go back to Ivywood to recruit the other two for a potential job contract and make some good coin. And out of all of them, he would be considered, I don't want to say lonely, but in regards, pardon me, I got a message here.
All right.
There we go. We're good. Out of everybody, Dunan has a lot of dynamics about himself, including he draws from both bloodlines, but he doesn't fit in with either culture. So he considers his friends just as close as any family member. He's almost the same size as a dwarf, but he can't grow a beard. And because of his mother's influence on nature, magically speaking, and because of his father's influence, being a dwarf, he has these odd abilities where he can manipulate steel and crystalline structures. One of the coolest contraptions he's ever made is a telescope which mounts over top of his shoulder. It can blast raw arcana out of it, which is really, really cool. It syncs with his goggles. And it's really neat to see a little guy walk up to a tree and reduce it to splinters.
Arcana, that's like magical energy?
Just raw magic. Just shoots out of that. It's basically a potato cannon, but with magic instead of potatoes.
Right. That's badass. So this art is by Victor?
This is all Victor from soup to nuts, including the color. Even dressed it with the title on the bottom. I think it's a beautiful work of art there.
That's nice. It looks fantastic. It really helps when you have this artist who can do everything, right? Pencils, inks, colors. Wow. The smaller the team, the better, right?
That's true. That's really very cool, true.
Man. So where did you find him, by the way? Usually, this is your first series, right? Your first comic.
Correct.
So in the beginning, you don't have this network yet. You have to find your crew. So
yes.
Where did you find him?
So I just found him online through social media posts. As I mentioned before, I saw that Ghost Rider skull on his profile picture, and I fell in love with that. And I asked a lot of different talent, and who am I, right? Like I'm not an established individual in the comic community. It was really cool to have these people take a chance on me.
Yes. Welcome, Derek.
And then
welcome, sir. Sorry, man.
That's okay. If you go to the next image, which is the main antagonist of the story.
There's one.
So the main antagonist you will not see in issue 1 or 2, but issue number 3 is explosive. There's a lot of surprises. I've already put on the pre-launch that there is the description in the pre-launch is 4 friends trying to hunt down a necromancer before a curse can take place on a city by sunrise. And these are not the mightiest individuals in the realm, and it's very time sensitive. So the question is, can these exhausted individuals be able to stop a bad thing from happening to a city? It's in such a scenario where they feel compelled, they couldn't just let this happen, if that makes sense.
Sure. Yes.
So
Victor says, Ray took a big chance on me as well.
Well, I at least got to see his portfolio and the things he posted. For on my end, he doesn't know anything I've written. But this image here, this was drawn by Harv Salteras. He did the first year of Volume 2 of Ghost Rider, where Dan Ketch was the writer back in the early 90s. He drew this, and then also it was colored by Dan Kemp. Dan Kemp is noted for coloring many books, in specific, basically Spawn 50 to 150. That's all Dan Kemp.
Yeah.
And also John Romita Jr.'s era of Amazing Spider-Man, when Peter Parker was a high school teacher. There's the fact that I was able to get somebody who colored a Hellspawn and somebody that drew Marvel's equivalent of a Hellspawn and combine their efforts, I thought that was a really cool thing. They've never collaborated like that before until they met me, and this is the second time I've gotten them to do it. So I'm super happy with how this has played out.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic. David asks, "Hey Ray, did you ever play Vagrant Story?"
I have not. No, I have not. There was a link I sent you down. If you share that link, it's a video of another cover coming out. It's of the artist's name is Pog's Art. That's his alias, and it has a really cool time lapse of him drawing Chasgo solo. It's going to be colored by Dan Kemp as well. It's an Instagram link.
Yeah, I need to log in first. 1 sec. Okay, I lost the link. Try again. What's real in the app? It seems I need the app. What? I can't show it from my desktop.
That's okay. That's okay. We can just share the link. People can look it up. That cover is going to be glow in the dark, and the only things that are going to be glowing is, well, the background behind Chasgo will be darkness. Right now it's just white, but the background will be all darkness, and his hands, his eyes, and the title will be the only things that glow in the dark. It's going to look really good when it's done.
All right, I put the link in the chat, guys. You can check it out. You can check out what that is.
Another interesting thing with the time lapse, he uses very little pencils. It's actually, it throws me off. He obviously knows what's going on in his mind and how it's going to play out, but I don't think I've seen anybody use that little of pencils and then apply the ink in such a manner like he did. It's pretty awesome.
Right, so it's very rough, the beginning.
Yes, it's pretty much just polygons. Like, there's not really even like clothes on them, but when he starts inking it in, clothes and everything just go right on. It's beautiful. Beautiful work of art, no pun intended, to watch him do that.
That's this also shows that it's a one-man band. So he knows what it will be, right? So when you have a penciler plus inker, the penciler needs to be more meticulous, because otherwise the inker has nothing to work with, right?
Yes.
Right, I put the link in the chat, guys. So you have your pre-launch page. What we showed, by the way, were the covers for issue 2 and issue 3, correct?
Those covers are it's the main antagonist and main protagonist covers of issue 3 only. Issue number 3, in issue 1 and 2, I have a group cover, and then I have individual covers for all 4 characters. I'm doing the same thing this time around, but I also have the main antagonist cover, and I've got a couple of surprises that I'm not allowed to talk about. It's torturous, but when the time comes, I will be debuting it. If anybody listening right now, if you find me on Facebook as DM Ray, which is short for DM is just Dungeon Master, because I like playing D&D. But each week I'm going to be releasing something new to show off with the group, or with this project rather. You can also find the Madcaps Facebook page, and then you can also find me on Instagram as at Raymond the DM, because DM Ray was taken. But if you are wanting to follow along, you can follow any of those profiles. You'll be getting updates. More importantly, though, the most the easiest way to know when this thing launches, you can get all 3 issues, is following the pre-launch page on Kickstarter. This includes, we're almost at 100 followers. I've never had followers this early, this many followers this early, I'm trying to say. But I'm very excited to finally talk about this entire story arc. I've only been doing 1 issue a year, so it's been 2 years of me not being able to talk about what happens by the time all the dust settles. But it's coming. It's coming either late March or early April. And there's the pre-launch page there.
Yes, this is pre-launch page. I put the link in the chat, guys. I also pinned it, so you can find it there. You can also find it below this video.
Beautiful.
Go sign up, get notified. 95 followers already.
Oh, wow. Wow, thanks. And anybody listening, even if you can't support financially, if you click on that follow, it will help me out algorithmically. And that's leaps and bounds for me. So even if you can't support the project, but you think it's pretty cool, you click on that notification. You've helped me out plenty, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So once this goes live, people can basically get all 3 issues. How many pages will each book be?
But all 3 issues combined are just short of 70 pages.
Okay, nice.
It's in the 60s.
David Feed has subscribed. Thank
you very much. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. And right, I see you are published by Filbo Publishing by Phil Russert, right?
Yes. Yes, sir.
So what's this is your that's really cool that you have your publisher, right? This takes
yes.
This saves you a lot of hassle.
Yes, I'm beside myself that I've had. I mentioned all the talent. Phil Russert is part of that. He took a chance on me, and he read the script. He liked it, and he told me after these 3 issues are done, we're going to make it 1 trade paperback, and he has his own distribution. So it's going to local comic shops across North America, and I'm sure internationally others can buy in as well.
That is fantastic. You already are where many indie creators try to be. Like
I'm beside myself.
Years, right? Yes. Really
yes.
Cool, man. Absolutely.
Yes,
fantastic.
thank you.
So does this mean that Filbo Publishing takes care of most of it? They run the campaign, they do the fulfillment?
Campaign, fulfillment. The only thing I worry about is the writing, getting the talent to hiring the talent, and he takes care of the campaign, the fulfillment, and eventually distribution as well. It's pretty awesome. Again, I'm humbled. It's just I'm so flattered that the book people are thinking must be half decent. So I'm not going to be so arrogant enough to be like it's a big this book is great. If you don't believe me, ask me. I'll let you know, kind of thing. But others seem to be liking it. So listen to what other people have to say. People who've read the book. Don't listen to me. But they'll tell you if it's worth buying. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And the 3rd issue is now being made, or is it done?
We are almost done. Everything's inked. We're in the process of coloring and lettering now. Almost all the covers are done too. Cool,
man. Because Phil said that after 3 issues they will put it together in this trade. Does this mean that with 3 issues your story is completed, or will there be more issues?
The story is done. I want to see how it's taken at the distribution level, and if people are liking it, I do have stories I can add on.
Sure.
When I say add on, these characters, I already know where their lives go and it's finished. It depends if people are liking it. If they want to hear more about these characters, I'm happy to tell more, essentially.
Absolutely. Yes. Okay. Sounds cool. Guys, go share this on social media. So this link, go share it out, get some more people in. You know, people who love fantasy, or people that love Dungeons and Dragons, or they love comic books, right? show this to people. Let's get some more signups. Let's get to 100 followers at least, right? Fantastic, Ray.
Thank you very much.
All right, remove this. Right, really cool. Well, it's really cool that you have your projects moving. Oh wait, David Feed has something to say. Is each issue a night, like a story in 3 nights, or are all 3 issues one night?
All 3 issues are one night. The very first page of page 1, the sun is just going down. By the end of page 3, the sun is just going up.
Okay, that is cool. That is great. Right. Well, all sounds fantastic. Good luck with that.
Thank you very much.
Ray, when do you think you will launch? What's the plan?
End of March or early April. It is not nailed down yet. I want to make sure that, for example, I'm finishing up a trailer for the comic. I want to make sure that when it launches, people have some cool stuff to see and they know what they're getting themselves into. I don't want to launch a pre-launch and I want to make sure I have enough to show. That way, if people look at the campaign, there's things that, okay, I understand why you're launching now. If I don't have enough to show, it's just, look at this. Hopefully you buy in. I want people to see what they're buying into, essentially. Sure. So when it launches, it's March or April, and when it happens, we're going to hit the ground running. And there's so much to show, and it is, as I've already said, it's torture not being able to talk about it yet, but it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah. All right. It sounds fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So guys, go subscribe. And before this was basically the hour. So thank you, Ray, for
thank you very much
for today, sir. And thanks so much. Before we close off, guys, I like to share something of my own, because I have my own campaign coming up, the Perfection Collection. So we are right now in the final moments of finishing Perfect 10 issue 6, right? And then all these 6 issues will be collected in one 192-page trade paperback. It's published by Critical Blast. They will do the distribution. I'm really proud of this. We will probably launch this end of February. So go subscribe, guys. You will get the complete story. So this is like, if you like superhero stories, it's about this synthetic being who wakes up in the superhero universe. She knows nothing about it, who she is, what she is, and she is she is cast into this war she wants no part in, right? It's a non-stop, action-packed, thrilling roller coaster, right? And I'm really proud of it. So
right on, man. Good for you.
Go get notified. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right.
Right on.
We move. Whew. Ray, thank you, and good luck with your endeavors, sir.
Thank you kindly. I appreciate it.
I'm looking forward to it. And special thanks to the chat, to everyone who showed up today. Thank you all so much for the questions and for the interaction. And if you like this conversation, give the stream a like. If you didn't like the conversation, give it a dislike, and I'm very sorry. And I'll be back, of course, next week. So same channels, same time, brand new guest. Hope to see you guys then. Have a fantastic week. Bye, guys.